We went to DC and it was a wild trip. You may have seen that I've been fundraising for a business trip to DC so that I could attend the inaugural Senate Democratic Strategic Communications Committee Summit. What a name. And speaking of how this trip came together, that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, GalPal. I write for GalPal's monthly newsletter, and when they heard about this opportunity, they stepped in to cover our plane tickets to DC. That support made this trip possible. GalPal is a media platform dedicated to lifting up the stories and voices of women across all forms of media. They produce original films and series, offer book publishing services to emerging authors, and publish a monthly vertical newsletter highlighting women leaders, advocates, artists, and innovators. GalPal also provides award-winning media production and strategic messaging for clients nationwide. You can learn more at wearegalpal.com, where women own the conversation. And with our flights officially booked, our alarm set for 4 a.m., and snow in the forecast, here's how our trip began. We are about to head to the airport. Our flight boards around 7. Then we're gonna go eat some breakfast, get some coffee possibly, and get on a plane and go to DC for this wild ride that's about to be had. But before that, my TSA pre-check is not showing up on my boarding pass, and that is essential for me as a disabled person. So we gotta go get that fixed at bag check probably. We got to LAX at about 5 a.m. for our 7 a.m. flight. LAX is huge, so it took us a second to check our bags. Once our bags were checked, we went through security. Kaz has TSA PreCheck and I have global entry with TSA PreCheck, so it just makes going through security a little bit simpler for us so that we don't have to wait in long lines and take our shoes off, which can be especially difficult with me and my prosthesis. Every time I go through TSA, I have to get a pat down because I can't go through metal detectors without setting them off. I always film this process because a lot of you are really curious about how I travel and go through TSA. And because this travel video is sponsored, we plan to have Kaz film just like we always do.
So usually I film my pat downs or I have Kaz because sometimes I get really intense pat downs and they pat down my entire body. They like swab my hands and my prosthesis and my shoes and everything. They like make me basically like lift myself up to like check the seat. That's like a really intense pat down. This time, of course, like the one time we need to film content, they literally just swabbed my hands and then they were like, okay, you're good. She like looked at my chair. I guess the most she did was like crouch down like next to my chair. And then she's like, okay, you're good to go. And I was like, you don't need to pat me down or anything. She just goes, no. It's like, okay, thanks.
I just recently got the Delta Sky Miles credit card because we fly so much. So that means now I can go to the Delta Sky Club. And since it was in the same terminal as our gate, we decided to go check it out. Once I checked in by giving them my boarding pass and ID, we rode the elevator up to the lounge, which was a lot bigger than I expected, and surprisingly, pretty accessible. There were so many breakfast options that honestly, it was a little overwhelming.
Kaz just informed me that I completely forgot to show you what I got to eat, what he got me to eat. So first, I have an Americano. Then, I have granola with vanilla yogurt. I had sausage. I guess I still kind of do. I have half a sausage left. I have an egg bite, and then I can't show you the last thing because you're propped up on it, but it's like chia pudding type situation. Very good. 10 out of 10. Do recommend.
After we had some breakfast and some coffee, it was time to leave the Sky Club and head to our gate. Once we found our gate, we put a tag on my chair and pre-boarded. I love pre-boarding because it gives me a little extra time to get my chair down to the jet bridge, take all my stuff off my chair, make it to our seats, and get settled. One thing that I do really love about Delta is that for their safety video that they play once everybody is boarded, it is captioned.
The Delta people share the same eternal flame with Team USA and cannot wait to cheer them on in Italy this year. Now sit back, relax, and please pay attention to this important safety presentation.
And I love the attention to detail and the determination from Delta to try and make everything as accessible as possible. As most physically disabled people who travel with medical and mobility equipment, I always get really anxious when I fly with my chair.
Also, my wheelchair did not fit in the wheelchair closet, so it had to be checked, and I'm very anxious about that because, like, you're taking my legs, so, and, like, airlines are known for damaging wheelchairs. So anyway, it's now checked and stowed in the undercarriage. I expected it to fit in the wheelchair closet, so I didn't take any photos or videos of it prior. So I'm a little nervous about that, but it should be fine. And yeah, now we've confirmed that it did make it on the plane, and I got like a little notification saying that my mobility device was in the plane from the Delta app, so that's fun. I've never gotten that before, and I really hope it's not damaged. I will see when we land.
Before flying, we always make sure to take photos of the current state of my chair, and then once we land, before leaving the gate area that we pull into, we always inspect it before going to baggage claim, just to make sure that nothing's broken, nothing got lost or came off of it, and that there are no new scratches. The flight from LAX to DCA is about 4.5 hours, so we had a lot of time to kill. I slept for about 2 hours, and then I woke up, ate, crocheted, and watched The Office for the remainder of the flight. Although my chair was one of the last things loaded into the cargo hold, it was also one of the last things to be brought up.
We've landed. I think I slept for like 3 hours maybe. Crocheted a little bit. Now we're at the gate, and I'm trying to see when they bring my chair up, because there's no point in us deplaning and everything if my chair's not even up yet. So this is our view. Sorry for the dirty window, but here is where they'll bring my chair up.
This was not normal. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I do want to point out that the flight attendants were so kind and so lovely.
We've been waiting for like 20-ish minutes. Everybody else is off the plane. They're cleaning it, as you can hear. So the longer we wait, the more anxious I get, because, like I said, airplanes are notorious for like damaging chairs. So I'm very anxious. They brought all the strollers up, but not my chair yet. The flight attendants are lovely. They keep asking us if we want anything to drink. We're sitting in first class because they wouldn't let us stand in the cold, because it's like 25 degrees Fahrenheit here. So it's freezing, literally. And so they were like, nope, you're not standing here. Like, come hang out in first class. And they're like asking us if we're okay, if we need anything. It's very, very kind. So that's a positive, but I'm getting more and more anxious about my chair. So we'll see when we get it.
And everyone was doing their best to get my chair up as fast as humanly possible. Things happen, and that's okay. We waited on the plane for about 20 minutes until they brought my chair up. As soon as we got off the plane, we grabbed my chair and inspected it before we even left the gate area. Then we headed to baggage claim. After we got our bags and put on some more layers because it was literally freezing, our friend Dot, who we were also staying with, came and got us.
We found Dot, who we're staying with. I'm in the car because it is actually freezing. And Kaz and Dot are trying to load my chair in the back. And it's getting interesting. It's being interesting.
We then went to a local donut shop because we were pretty hungry after the flight. Here was the problem. DC was covered in not only snow, but ice everywhere. And the car that we were in was a pickup truck that I wasn't able to get into or out of independently. So in order to navigate this, Kaz had to lift me out of the truck onto somewhat non-icy ground, have me stand while he closed the door, and then help me walk to the sidewalk without me slipping and falling on my face. All of this is a lot easier said than done. Side note, the donuts were to die for. After our little donut shop excursion, Dot took us on a mini driving tour of the city so that we could kind of get a layout of where we were going to be for the next 7 days, and exactly where I needed to be and where the landmarks that we wanted to go visit were. We saw the Washington Monument, the Capitol building where I was later in the week, and a lot of other very iconic landmarks. It was really cool to see everything covered in snow, and really surreal to see landmarks that I had only really ever seen in TV shows or movies. After our tour, we ate some dinner, and then it was time to settle in for the night.
And we're gonna go to bed here soon because me on no sleep is starting to catch up to me. We've done as much editing of footage as we possibly can stomach right now, and this is our stuff. This is currently our room. It's kind of a mess.
It's not as bad as it usually is, like
It's
in
true.
hotel rooms.
It's true. We're trying to keep it contained. We are staying like with a family, with children, so like we're trying to be very respectful of the space because it's not ours. And they gave us a present. So, okay. This is so nicely. I feel bad. This is so nicely wrapped.
Oh, it's a cat mug.
It's a cat mug. That's so kind of them. Oh, how kind. See, we wouldn't have gotten this if we stayed in a hotel. I wonder if they made this.
It definitely looks like they made it.
We're staying with an 8 and a 5-year-old. Well, their mom is who I'm friends with, but I think they made this. I think they went to like Color Me Mine.
No, I think they went to like a pottery class or something. It looks handmade.
It's so cute.
Look, they drew the little cats on it.
And the little hearts.
It's Monty.
This is very tactile. I want to know why.
Probably because the glaze.
Oh, probably.
You pottery people, ceramics people.
Tell me why it's like, feels like Braille almost. I'm so happy that we arrived here in one piece. No luggage got lost. The chair was not ruined. It's a little scratched up, but that was bound to happen. I don't know why I just turned something. It was bound to happen. It was gonna happen eventually, so it's what it is. Delta was so kind. They were all very kind, very lovely. We got in, aside from the cold, everything has been perfect. We had like a tour of the city, a quick one, so that kind of we knew what we were doing and like where everything kind of was. And the rest of the trip should be really fun. We have a lot planned. We tried to storyboard a little bit of it tonight, and it's a lot. We have packed a lot into 7 days. So come with us for the rest of the videos that we're gonna post. I have no idea how we're going to organize all the content, but by the time you're seeing this, we will have figured it out. So thank you so much for coming on this journey of leaving LA and going across the country to DC. We're very excited for what's to come and this trip and what's gonna happen. So make sure you stay tuned for other videos. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment what your favorite part of the trip was, and we will see you next time. Bye!